So the result of doing all this is not because we want a beautiful personal brand site. It's because we want to help them rank better, make the phone ring, and then our dashboard measures the fact that we make the phone ring and they rank more in video.
Hello.
Oh, there you are.
Hey, it took like 10 clicks to get in, but here I am. Yeah. Hey, man.
Because I was sitting here in the Zoom and no one was there. And then I saw another thing, an email saying Dylan Kirby's joined your meeting. There must be like maybe, I don't know, it's like another duplicate Zoom ID or something. Anyway,
Okay.
Good to hear from
Hey,
you.
yeah. Good hearing your voice, man.
Okay. Yeah, I like how you have the video off. I prefer doing it this way, but like clients, whatever, conditioned us to turn the video on to, I don't know, so that they know it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Okay. So there, let's see. So we have the site builder and there's lots of enhancements and we
Right.
want to do it such that, and we just want to keep adding features to it, but I don't want to make you the bottleneck. So I would love for you to work on things that you would like to work on as part of it, where you add unique value, especially like because you understand where we're trying to go and the dashboards and how it helps people be Googleable, and you can do more complex stuff that other people that just use APIs to grab data or just generate charts off of them, they may, hitting the database,
Right.
whatever. Like you understand the data structure, the architect. So I'm counting on you to tell me what's the best way to do it so we can do it. And then now that we have AI, AI can write code and do certain things, but obviously there's things we need you for that the AI can't do, or you to supervise the AI to write the code or whatnot, right? So.
Right. Right. No, that makes sense. I like it. It's the first time I think I've seen us put a plan together with kind of the site builder sort of as the center, and then the subscription model, and then all the other things will kind of lead off from there. I think that's great. I'm happy that the site builder gets as much use as it does. That's been actually really great that Felix just keeps creating sites, and
Yeah.
he always contacts me about bugs and issues which do happen, and I can fix those. And it's pretty stable these days. It'll launch a site without too much trouble, which is nice. I think that's great. There's the one thing, so this is like the first thing I'll mention, and this is like an engineering thing. So I have an engineering mind, so that's the first thing I think of, is the user isolation. Before you want to put like a business model around it or anything like that, or try to enhance it, we have to have user isolation. So each of the sites is its own user, and that way it prevents viruses and malware from spreading to the other sites. Like a year and a half ago, we had that hack issue. It would solve that. And it would also solve issues it has with some plugins. Like the site migration plugin doesn't really work that well. Felix struggles with it because it messes up all the permissions and things. If we had user isolation, it would fix that. And it would just in general make things so much better. You can give an SFTP login to a client, and then they can just log in with their files. And right now they can't do that. If they log in with their FileZilla, they have access to all the sites.
Oh,
and
shoot. I thought it was a separate WordPress login for each one.
Oh, it's a separate WordPress login, sure, but when they log in, exactly, the back end when they log in.
But no client needs to log into the back end.
Well, if they want to upload files, in some cases they do. If they have a developer working on it, or if they want to do anything like
we don't want that. We don't want them doing any of that because that's a breakage of our model. It's just not like imagine like LinkedIn, and we want to allow anyone to be able to create a LinkedIn profile, except our LinkedIn profile is this robust thing,
Right.
Like LinkedIn doesn't allow you to SFTP and upload files, or maybe they log,
a lot of the sure,
consumer facing.
A lot of the plugins use it though. A lot of plugins will actually weirdly log in using SFTP to make file system changes. So it uses that for it too as well.
Okay.
So that's the one thing I would recommend that you do, just from security and from usability, would make it a lot better if possible. And I sent that to you a couple months ago. But
I think I want to do it, but I want to put that as lower priority because I want basic features and things like that. And there's just but lower priority.
True. Well, at least
super critical.
At least we had a conversation about it. That's all that matters to me. Is like, hey, Dennis, there's this risk. If there is a breach, it'll kill all the sites. And that's just the thing I want to impress. That's what happened last time. Yeah. And so that's what I just want to press on you. So as long as we talked about it, I'm happy. That's great.
Well, we should do it to Felix or other people. No one needs to touch anything because it's a sign we're misusing the site. There's like, if you're creating a Facebook profile, there's no, grandma can
create
a Facebook profile.
That makes sense. And then it just keeps the sites very simple and cookie cutter, which I like as well. So there's very little custom going on from the client at all. I think that's good.
Exactly. They shouldn't be
Yeah.
messing with plugins or any of that.
Okay, good. Okay, great. So yeah, so there's stuff like that is the stuff that I would do. So I do the back end infrastructure, the engineering, and I get the platform ready to make it easy for the guys or the AI agents that we bring in to orchestrate the updates and the changes. So right now we've got the whole backend system runs on Lambda serverless functions. Okay. And
Okay.
that's in Amazon. So that's actually the heart that performs all the jobs, does all the changes. When you log into the front end, that's the part that actually builds the site.
Okay.
And that works off a Python script that's on that single server there. So when we're using Angular on the very front end, which is back when I built it back in 2019,
Uh,
that was almost as popular as React, but now React is a lot more popular and not as many people use Angular these days.
okay.
So there'll be a little bit of a challenge when you bring on guys to use Angular. It's not like React, which is like
All right.
75 to 80%, I'd say, for front end engineering. And then, Angular is like less than 10%. So it's a little bit of a challenge, but that's what it is. That's what's there. So we can keep that. We can
Uh-huh.
keep that all as it is as we build onto it. I think the AI agents and simple Upwork people that you bring in are going to be fine with Lambda. A lot of them already know how to do that. It's really popular. It's been around for many years now. I think that's fine. The Python script that runs the site builder itself on the server, it's a pretty simple script. They most likely I would probably work on that. Okay. It's just one script and I know it well. And that's the part that actually interacts with the file system. I would probably do that.
Okay.
And then you can have guys who can actually also work on the Angular side as well. And I think the AI agent will work fine with that as well. Even though it's not popular, there's endless documentation online. And I haven't actually used AI with Angular because you're my only client that has it.
Okay.
But I think it'll be fine with that as well.
Okay.
So yeah, and of course, WordPress plugins, the things you need to do from the WordPress side, I think AI does fine with that too as well. So I think you're in a pretty good position as far as just building onto it and adding all these features. For the subscription model, what do you have in mind? Do you want anything for free, or is the whole thing behind a paywall? Is what you're thinking?
I think we have a super basic thing for free that requires no effort on our side and no headache. And if there's any sort of coaching or whatever, we just pre-record all these little videos walking them through in a self-serve kind of way, right? So they get some value on a subdomain. It has to cost us nothing and have no effort.
Okay, good idea. All
Maybe
right.
maybe I can this whole like freemium thing. Maybe I can sketch out what this thing should do, my vision, and you tell me what you think is the best way to get there.
Okay.
So imagine they're an entrepreneur, they own a home services business, or maybe they're an influencer, but somehow they have some presence, meaning they have some content, they have some topic they're knowledgeable, they have some relationships either in their city or in their topic, and they type in their name, maybe into our knowledge graph API thing. Did you see that Josh built a
I've
little?
never played with the knowledge. The knowledge. This is Josh built this, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I haven't played with that. I
I
haven't.
bet you could spin that up real quick or rebuild a new one because all it does is hit the API and return the results. That's it.
Oh, okay. And tells people what their knowledge graph currently is and like that.
And let me
Okay.
just let me share my screen. Okay. You see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay. So we type in, someone's name. Actually, mine is messed up for some reason, but okay, Dylan Haugen, okay? And then all the Dylan Haugens show up, right? And then, because you want to know which one's yours, right?
Right.
And then we click on each of these. This is not working, but this one is our Dylan Haugen. He's a professional dunker. And so
Oh,
Google, against this object ID, has, gathered all this information, largely their YouTubes and LinkedIn things, and tied it to their social profiles here, right? So what we want to then
mhm.
do, this is where I'm thinking maybe AI can help us do this, or we program these AI bots, agents, whatever, to pull everything we can about now that we know this is the guy, because he's like, yep, this one's me. Or, he has to go through this and say, that's not me. Actually, this one's me, right? But once it's like, okay, this is me, then the main thing is pulling all the YouTubes, all these YouTube videos. This guy's got a
Okay.
lot of, because anyone that we're doing stuff with, they're going to have a, 1,300 videos. That's insane. But there's going to have proof. Otherwise, we have no ingredients to process, right? So if we grab all their videos, we want to turn each one of them into a blog post automatically.
Oh,
That's where AI can
okay.
pull in the transcript, all that you can do. And there's all kinds of tools that do that kind of thing. But we want to just inventory their stuff. And then the AI can look across all the stuff it can find about them, about what they say on LinkedIn, about, okay, this guy, he's a professional dunker. He's been doing stuff with this person and that person and whatnot. And then they, hey, AI, based on what you know about this guy, write a bio, right?
Right.
And write what you think, write a summary. Oh, well, he's bigger on, do an analysis. Well, this guy seems to be doing this and that, and he has this kind of business, and he seems to be stronger on YouTube, but he doesn't have a Twitter, and he doesn't have an Instagram, and he does have an Instagram, but he's not on Facebook, or, just like kind of do analysis like I would on people's personal brands, right? If
Right.
we pull all the stuff in, and then the AI can analyze, right? And analyze means
Right.
turn into articles, do analysis. I mean, I think the big point is, can we get this stuff into a folder or someplace so then we can point the AI at it, and the OpenAI API, that kind of thing, right?
Right.
And, there's third-party scrapers that charges a penny per 100,000 tokens, or whatever is to pull this information. So maybe you should use that, or maybe we should have someone write code to hit these guys. I remember in our dashboards we had to pay, or I guess we didn't pay, but we'd hit all the different APIs to pull this stuff, like the YouTube API or whatnot, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So I want to
Okay.
grab all this because once it's on our playground, we can point different AI agents at it to do things like to analyze their brand or to figure out what their bio should be in the way we like to write bios, and all. Then that's easy, right? Then Jack and I can do all that, right?
Right. Right. Cool. Okay.
I'm saying, so just like this. So, okay, all this stuff about Dennis Yu. Now, the biggest thing for me is, same kind of stuff, but I also am associated with other people, and I've been on a ton of podcasts, right? So I'd love for the AI, if it pulls, well, first, we're separating the pulling of the data versus the analyzing. But if we can pull, hey, pull all the podcasts that Dennis has ever been on and all the people he's interviewed. So you can imagine where, we would, the thing would
Yeah.
scour all over the place, right? To find
Right.
it. And then the analysis would be like, well, Dennis has been on 987 podcasts, and it seems to be around digital marketing. And here are the most, of all the people, here's a list of them, but these five are the most authoritative and most important. And the most common thing they talk about is dollar a day, right?
Hmm.
And he's talked about it in 67% of the episodes. And it looks like, and here's a graph of how many podcasts he's been on. It looks like, he started out slow, and now, last month he did 32 podcasts. I'm making numbers up, like that
Right.
kind of thing, like to show me what the, the x-ray of my personal brand is, right?
And then take that and create, for example, posts on the web, the WordPress site that's been created by the
Yeah.
site builder. Okay.
Yeah. So the
Cool.
whole point of the
Okay.
site builder is well, if we have all the data about who that person is, and they're the founder of this company, and they own this landscaping or plumbing company or whatever, and all this, we have all this, this is who this person is, so we can structure a topic wheel and then basically repurpose all those videos and interviews and Apple Podcasts or whatever into articles that live on the personal brand site that are then linked together, where, oh, Dennis was with, Roger Wakefield, and then all the stuff related to Roger Wakefield. So if we have all these personal brand sites for all these people, and we control all of them, we can link each of these websites together because they're all on our platform.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Okay. I like that. Okay. So it needs to be aware. Okay. We're going to have to track the knowledge graph for each site so we can do that linking. Okay. That's really cool.
But I know there's a lot of pieces here. I would just break it down into, I mean, you're better at doing this than me, but I'm an engineer as well in a way. A is like, just get the data in one place. And if we can associate
Right.
these objects, then from there, it's actually pretty straightforward, right? Because Google is already doing the organization of this object, this person object ID to these other IDs, right? So we don't
Right. Right.
specify that anymore.
Right. So I'll need to structure this in the database.
Well, we already had a thing before where you put in the entity and associate the social profiles with it. But now we want Google we want to take the association that Google has already done here as part of the knowledge graph instead of us manually inputting. Or sometimes
Right.
our people can do an override or whatever. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like do a manual linking. Yeah, like in case it doesn't pick up on it, manually link either to another site or
Yeah,
to a knowledge graph ID or however you want to do that.
yeah.
Oh, that's great. Okay. Yeah, I didn't pick that up from the email. This is actually really interesting.
I wrote this big
Um,
vision email. I don't know if I copied you on it. Did you see? I don't think I sent it to you, but I said
yeah,
say
probably not.
2025 strategy. This one here. I don't think I copied you on it. This is actually very key.
Oh, cool. Okay, please send that.
Just take a look at that. Yep, sent that to you. Yeah. But the main one, okay, so I was showing you the big picture, right? Grab all the
Mhm.
information about the person. That structures so once all this information comes in, we can organize it, analyze it. It's very easy to point ChatGPT against it and do this analysis, right? But then structure it into a topic wheel based on the topics and the relationships. And each of the blog posts becomes or I'm sorry, each of the YouTubes, mainly it's going to be YouTube. The
Mainly YouTube. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so because that's the long form video, which is rich, that has the things we need to turn into an article, and like here, right? So here, this processing, pull they have all this stuff, right? And we want to pull in mainly the YouTube podcasts and turn them into articles. But so first come in, pull it in, and we have certain ways we want to enrich it and link stuff together, and SEO it, right? Whatever, write headlines in
Right.
a certain way. Our VAs can come in and then repurpose those new articles as social posts to say, hey, remember this podcast when we had so and so? And so it's an article we're sharing on social. We're sharing the posting. We're sharing on social media. Hey, we have an article about, we wrote a blog post about these two people talking about, oh, I interviewed this guy, Richard Canfield, and he talked about this life insurance thing where you can save money on taxes. Like, oh, that's really, and I share that on social, but I'm sharing the blog post, which has the embedded YouTube, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. So if all that is working well with all these personal brand sites that are structured properly, they should each become more Googleable because they're repurposing things so that then, everything's showing up better when we look at their name. And let's say, Marco Sipple. So yeah, there's our buddy Marco. We search YouTube. These are all him. No, this is not him. This is not him. This is a baseball player, Marco Sipler. But there are other ways to be able to figure out which ones of these is actually that person. And
Okay.
then, okay, so let's say we have all these personal brand sites, turn these articles into, or, videos into articles. Then we want to link them together. And this is some complex logic we should talk about later, but I call this the geo vertical grid. So we have a bunch of painters, for example. Then we want all the painters to link to each other in a certain way. We have a bunch of
Okay.
landscapers, because we have the top landscaper as a client, Anthony Hilb, right? And so we had him. We've he's made a bunch of videos, and then we've turned them
Hey
all.
guys, so what's everything you need to start a
Okay, so all the stuff where he's landscaping. Okay, so he's a landscaper, he's a lighthouse, but all the other landscapers can learn from him, right? Because we have these lighthouse people, right? And because we have these leaders in each of these categories, by doing good things for them, they attract the hundreds of other people who are also landscapers and plumbers and whatnot. And then,
Right.
Anthony says, hey, my business is ranking because I'm using Dennis's stuff for the way we're doing SEO. But the key is you got to make videos. You have to collect reviews from your customers. You have to do all these things to give us the necessary raw ingredients here in stage one for us to process it using our various tools so that we can repurpose it and then post it on all, articles and on the site, GMB. And we'll figure out tools that will take our stuff that we made and post it on all the socials. There's lots of tools to do that. So when that's the case, this is what the big ROI is. Then we link to each other. So the landscapers link to each other, pest control companies link to each other. So that's sending, that's helping each of these guys rank on landscaping Bloomington, landscaping Dallas, or tree, cutting down the tree city name, right?
Okay.
And if they're in that city, Dallas, then all the Dallas businesses we have link to each other. Because they're in our network. We have the Dallas plumber. We have the Dallas lawn care. We have the Dallas chiropractor. We have the Dallas, So we'll link to each other with people in, you're a Dallas plumber, okay? So, okay, all the people on our network that are Dallas, we're going to link to. All the people that are plumbers, we're going to link to. And so I'm specifying the business logic, and I'm pretty sure I can just write it, and the AI can generate the blogs and do it. But I just want you to understand that's when we do that, that builds more, legitimate links. Anthony's Lawn Care, it's a site. And then the personal brand site we have with it too, right? They all link to each other. Then this guy is going to rank on more keywords and have more traffic. And then so with our dashboard, because we're pulling in the GMB and how many calls there were and, all Google Analytics, call rail, all this stuff, we'll be able to show as we're doing all this SEO stuff, hey, we're ranking on more keywords now. Hey, we're, all this. Right. Because obviously we'll take the stuff and push it to all these other things, and it'll trigger knowledge panels because featured snippets, because we're turning them into articles. It's easier to pull out. Right.
So it increases their ranking.
Yeah. It's really an SEO play is what we're doing. I really give no shits about their website, their personal brand website or their business website.
Right. Fantastic. Okay.
This is why, but then that's why the intersection of the dashboard to show that there's a result on the business side ties with why we are collecting and structuring and redistributing all this content, this raw proof, this EEAT of who they are. So, Google wants EEAT, which is the experience, actual real experience, EEAT, experience, expertise, authority, trust. It was each, they added an E, right? They added the E for experience because, we want to take all these raw experiences they have and, repurpose it, run it through our content factory process. So then we have tons and tons of proof that they have done the thing they say they do. Like I have done things in basketball, this, and not just because I'm saying, not because the AI is writing how do you, manage basketball campaigns or whatever. Like AI can do that, but I have so much real proof to put in those, right?
Right.
AI can process the stuff, not the AI generate stuff. You know what I mean? I don't believe in generating. I believe in processing. I have tons and tons of proof of this, right? So the main source is going to be what the system can pull up when we first start with the knowledge graph, which links everything together, because I don't want to try to manually figure out which John Smith is which John Smith, right? But then, and then that links to all these things, especially their YouTube. And then once we hit the YouTube jackpot, when it's their YouTube, because then we can pull all that stuff and we know it's their thing, right?
Right.
Then the second piece is like there's this guy Dylan Haugen, right? And I said, hey, this is my guinea pig, one of my guinea pigs, right? I said, get your stuff together. And, we bought the domain, dylanhaugen.com, this time with a dash because the main one was taken, which is what our rule is. Buy the one with the dash if someone else has that name. And it said, Felix set up the template or spun up the thing using our tool. But we didn't have enough information or photos and videos because he basically has a YouTube, which is great. So then I said, okay, on your phone, put everything into the Google Photos and give us access. And here it is. So there's tons of these videos and photos of, all this going on, right? So now this is another source that we can use to enrich and write articles and, sprinkle pictures into different, you know what I'm saying? So it's not just text articles, right?
Yeah. And so Felix is just going to download this and manually put it for right now,
but you can see where we don't, Uber doesn't want to have, Uber's willing to have drivers for now, but I want they want self-driving, right? So we want self-driving in our stuff.
Right. Of course. Okay. And this is all manual right now. Are you using any other platforms to help you out with?
No, this is all VAs. It's very expensive. Okay. It's very slow. It's fraught with mistakes. There's a lot of stuff to correct,
Okay.
McDonald's has the robots now that are making stuff in the restaurants, and it's working really well, right? It's pretty like all the work. They replaced the workers in the front to take the order. Now they're going to replace the workers in the back.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take forever. They don't mess up the food. The robots. I've seen it. I've been to a couple of these McDonald's. The front and back are automated, right?
Really? I haven't seen it. Okay.
Yeah, and certainly they've been testing it, but slowly, because when they've done it, people have come to protest and shatter the windows because they're mad about, all that, right?
Yeah, very good. Okay. And it's pretty much a blank slate. We have the site builder, and I'll look at what Josh has done. In fact, I'll look at all of this and then come back and let you know the steps we need to take and how long each will take. And then each piece that you can farm out to someone on Upwork, provided that I have the platform in place where they can just create this code base, this module, and then I can just integrate it very quickly, and then we just move on from there. So grabbing the YouTubes, storing it in a way that the AI can understand it, JSON objects or something that they can easily consume, and then just turn the agent loose on the data, and then taking that output, and then we can put that into articles, or just auto create articles, auto post articles, and just get it working. So okay, I'll break this all down then into pieces, and then get this to you for you can decide.
Here's the biggest thing I want you to consider on your side. So if we go down our current route, it might take us many years and a lot of money, and by then it'll be many years too late to get this thing out. I've seen a lot of Copilot or all these different AI, OpenAI's API.
Sure.
They write the code. So I've seen people spin up whole sites that do all kinds of things just through a few prompts. And I'm wondering the way we can leverage that, because it can write the Python or Angular or whatever we need.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm the master it's like you have a team of programmers, Dylan. That's what I'm thinking. And you use the AI to do these things faster.
Right, exactly. That would be great. And then for each thing each agent does, you just make sure it integrates correctly into the larger whole, which is the tricky part. You need to prompt them, and you need to give them access to the code base and make sure that what they create will integrate correctly to everything else.
I feel like, you tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like, because I've seen so many people do it now.
Sure.
You're the architect. If you understand the logic, I understand the logic, I can tell it to you, then we can get the nitty gritty of the code stuff done. I mean, this is the big bet that all the big tech players are saying, right? And we can speed things up. Obviously, the way we've done it, you and I have done this for many, many years. We can do it, but to have the AIs are the coders now, and you're more of an architect. My hope is that's the case. Maybe certain things you'll say, no, the AI can't do it. I have to do it. Like, okay, right?
Right.
But my hope is that for most of it, we can do that, because otherwise it's going to be the way we've worked together, right? Which we just won't get there in time.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I agree. Okay, I
put a lot of money. I'm feeling sad because, you and I have spent a lot of time and a lot of money building this thing.
Yes, yeah, I know.
But my hope is that even though, the AI can write the code to build a dashboard, right? I've seen so many people do this, and there's a lot of dashboards out there, as you know, right? Back when we were doing that, maybe not so much, but my hope is that the experience that you and I have had in doing it, and the business logic and whatnot, gives us an edge in the context and directions and prompting. I don't even like to use prompting, but telling it what to do. Right. So we can do all of these things in the same way, like I'm telling you, hey, this is how I want to do it and why I want to do it this way. And here's some nuances in the logic, so that we're not just making a website builder. We're not just making a report thing. We're not just making a pull all the keywords you rank on SEO tool. We're not just hitting someone's API and displaying it in another way, right? There's actually some logic to it, right? Business logic is where I believe we win, not the throw 20 programmers at it. And I don't have the money to do that either, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, what do you think about that? Are you open to that, or are you? I mean, if you want to,
of course, yeah. No, I think that's great.
Okay.
Especially since once we break it down the way we're talking here, and once you break it down into its components, it's not that complicated. It's each thing, it just does something fairly simple. But then when we put all the output of the AI together, it turns into what we want. So we're not really reinventing the wheel in any way. This is stuff that we've kind of done before, and we just need.
But you see my fear, right? My fear is that it's going to be 40 hours. Here's thousands of dollars, and every couple of weeks we move just like a few inches forward for a few thousand.
Right.
Like other people are like, they write a prompt and then boom, they've like leapfrogged us by 2 years and cost them nothing, right? I know it's an exaggeration, but you see what I'm saying with the AI writing the code, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely, sure. No, I think that we can definitely try that. Sure, we'll try it. Let's see what happens.
Well, how do you feel about having the AI write a lot of the code and you tell it what to do? Like, oh, hit this API, write the code, and you inspect it. You're advising the code, the code it's writing.
Right.
Like, make it like this, right? Instead
I think that can work.
Sit there and then write there and refactor it. All that stuff, which takes a long time.
From what I've done myself with it and what I've seen other people do, I think it can be done. But we'll try each module. And you're right. If one module can't do it well, then I'll have to do it myself, or get it past that point and then let it take over.
Exactly. So you understand the different components and what these little, programs or micro workers or whatever we call it, microservices, whatever we're calling it. You understand what these pieces have to do. My hope is that you can spin up each of these little pieces way faster because the AI can write that code, but you're the senior programmer over this team of programmers, basically.
Right. Quote unquote programmers. Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's what I'm going for. But if you're like not comfortable with, you want to write code the way you've done because, you don't want to, you're better than the AI,
Oh yeah, no, I use AI as much and leverage it as much as I possibly can. No,
Okay.
that's what my competition is doing, so that's what I have to do. No, I'm fine with that. It's okay.
Well, our competition is the AI, is people using the AI. But yeah, so
Yeah.
okay, so you see my expectation, like it's a completely different pace than what we've done before.
Right, right.
So
Well, let me.
more coordinated on the business logic. So my hope is that we can coordinate often on the business logic because you're going to need that. And if anything, like you and I are almost like middlemen, unnecessary layers because I know the business logic pretty much in and out. I mean, there's going to be edge cases and whatnot we can decide to do or not do. Just like why do we not want to allow people to upload anything or touch anything, right?
Right.
Because we're not allowing people to customize and like there's none of that. Zero.
Yeah, yeah,
It
I
doesn't
see
help us
that.
because it doesn't tie to our goal. Because it's not the websites, it's the result. It's the phone ringing for businesses
Gotcha. Yeah.
and linking them together. It's just, if you don't gather the data, link it together, build out these things, there's nothing to link together, right?
Right.
And I can link it together in a way and help you understand. We link into in a way that doesn't get us in trouble, so it doesn't look like a link farm. We have this other thing this other platform, Market Scale, where it basically is a video platform. We can interview other people and process this video in a certain way and allows us to do like self-serve podcasts. So I'll say, hey, be on my podcast. Okay, great. Well, now it's just self-serve because it's, oh, welcome to Dennis's podcast. Here, answer this question and this question. And then they just hit the button and record. And then the system processes it without me ever needing to be there, right? Because that's a way of
Right.
gathering these video interviews. You understand, like for any business, they have to answer the PAA against their main keyword, right? The people also ask, right?
No, I don't know about that.
Yeah, so here, I'll just show you real quick. Just so you understand the context, because I think if you understand the context, then you can talk to the AI in an intelligent way. So Dallas, emergency plumber, right? Lots of people competing here, right? Lots of ads, lots of these things, right? Of course, we have a plumber too. And here you see this, people also ask, how much is an emergency?
Okay.
What's an plumbing emergency? Should I call them? How long does it take? I mean, obviously, what's it cost is the issue because people, they don't get ripped off and all that. So you can see that here's what the general costs are, and here's, should I call them, and how much, what about the rotor, what about the leaking pipe, and what about this thing? Yeah, should I do this or that? And is this more expensive than that? And you see like, so
Yeah.
if you search on this thing, Dallas emergency plumber, here's all the people also ask. Here's a related question. So most of these guys are not answering, they're plumbers, they're not answering these questions. So we just tell them, hey, love to have you on Dennis's Plumbers Podcast. Or in this case, we have a Roger Wakefield, who's the plumber. He's the lighthouse plumber. All the plumbers know who he is, right? Because we have the lighthouse. You know what I mean by that, right?
Lighthouse. Yeah. So they're a reference for other people in the same field.
They're the best respected one in that field.
Gotcha.
We
Okay.
have the number one landscaper. We have the number one real estate guy. We have the number, which is really cool. That's our advantage, Dylan. You always want to lead with your advantage, right? We have the number
Sure.
one in each of these categories. So then they get to be on Anthony's Lawn Care Magic podcast, right? And Anthony's Lawn Care, everyone wants to be like Anthony because he's got he's got a big business, and all these lawn care guys want to be as successful as him, right? Hey guys, welcome to Anthony's Lawn Care, whatever. We talk about lawn care, and if you're a lawn care guy, then blah blah blah, right? He's helping all the lawn care people. He has a lawn care business, and he's helping all the lawn care people in all across the U.S., right?
Okay.
So they come in and, Dallas tree service. Okay. So then you want a guy to cut down your tree. Then here's the questions. How much does it cost? And was it per hour? It's always about what this thing costs. Why is it so expensive? Well, because of insurance and all the, the cranes and all the, schedule it and marketing and all this, right? So these tree people in whatever city name, tree service, whatever city name, whatever topic, they're going to answer the PAA, but they're going to do it in a self-serve way. And then we're going to put it on Anthony's site, and we're going to link between.
Okay.
We're going to put it on their site too.
Okay.
Also repurpose it so
Okay.
So then the
Gotcha.
Anthony AI or the article will say, hey guys, today on Anthony's Best Tree Service People in the World podcast, we have so-and-so who does it in Dallas. And so-and-so, tell us what is a tree, what does it cost? What's a reasonable price for tree trimming? And what about this kind of tree versus that kind of tree? Right. And then, of course, Anthony didn't have to say anything as we just turned all the video responses into articles, right? But that's a separate thing we're working on, but then that's going to flow through the personal brand site as well as their actual site that they give us control on, right?
Okay.
But if we understand the AI agent can do all this with all the tools, because we have a lot of tools to do all these different things, right? We can tie it together. So I think you and I can be more of integration rather than, more architect than hammer with,
Then actually do it hands-on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I didn't know about that either. People
Yeah.
also ask.
So
Okay.
that's what we're talking about. Yeah. And so I feel like to be successful in programming requires more of the subject matter knowledge than about how well your Python skills are.
Increasingly so these days. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. All right. Very good.
What do you need me to understand better, or what,
Well, I'm going to have to look
at where
at,
we're going, right?
Sure. Yeah. I'm going to break it down now into its components, and each component will be a task that needs to be performed by the module that's going to be built, and then just figure out what comes first, and then try to break it down in terms of how long it'll take. And we'll know a lot more once we do the first module. And let's just see how well it does and see how well it will integrate into the existing system. I might need to change the system so that it's just easier to integrate into. Maybe it's too complicated. Maybe I need something simpler. So I'll just have to look at that and then just come with a schedule and then come up with an idea how long it'll take, but we really won't know until I do that first module solely with AI.
I don't think
And
it
I'll see
even how long it'll take thing, because there's so many different components that take, what I want to see is the architecture, and then each of us can work on our components, these little workers. Like for example, Jack he's built some scripts and whatnot using OpenAI to write all kinds of code, even though he's not a coder. He just jumped in and to be able to organize files and to be able to write articles and to be able to figure out what topic is, and to generate all, reminders to do things.
Sure.
So each of us can, and I've written logic to process content in a certain way and output it, right? I just haven't the agentic side down, right? So I have things that grade articles, that hire VAs, that assemble the positive mentions. Go find everything you can find about so-and-so and turn it into actually, this was not in here, but hey, we're writing books, because that's another way to repurpose the content. So then there's our thing on how to assemble books, and then, right. So each of these VAs basically has our SOP on how to do like the content fact. This is basically the big book of SOPs that can be, we were turning them into workers, like ordering socks, as you can see, or, doing this and that. So we're just having the AI learn as if it were a new VA to do all this kind of stuff. So I'm thinking if you can help us with that architecture, or Jack can come in and then you mainly work on the technical VAs, and Jack and I work on the marketing VAs. And there's this other guy, Dylan Haugen, and he's working on the ones that kind of help interview people because he's a podcaster. Like each of us work on our domain of, information domain, subject matter domain, not the website domain of all the knowledge and processing and the workers, right? Each of us is managing a group of workers, what I'm trying to do.
Right.
So if you can sort of like lay out that framework, and then we can make sure we have proper worker management, right?
Right. Okay.
That's more of what I'm looking for. But then you have the technical skill to understand on the technical side, how do we manage these workers, right? So you're writing the code for these workers, and these workers get better. We test it just like with the site builder thing. We run through it. The knowledge graph API, people are using it. We have feedback that helps us improve, right?
Exactly.
We need to look for it each time it goes away. Sorry. Okay. And then like looking at the site builder interface, I would love if it makes sense to have one of our team members. I don't think it's a Felix necessary, but help us improve the functionality and UI. People get stuck, and there's things we can automate and improve and all that, and kind of rev through that.
Sure. You mean the front end of the white label dashboard? Yeah, that would be great.
The dashboard. So, what's the most efficient way to do that? Maybe we could meet each week for half an hour or whatever, right? Or if they're like UI stuff or things that are easy and textual that don't require you to change it. How do we make those changes without you bottlenecking? We don't make you a bottleneck on that.
Right. Yeah. Okay, let me make a note of that as well.
But you and I have put in, I mean, it's been a lot of money and a lot of time, and I think we're so close to seeing something awesome.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
especially
they
these
get
days.
the thing collects all the stuff, and so back to the bigger vision, we collect all the stuff on that person, and the AI says, okay, this is what we've gathered about you. What do you think about it? And then it's like, yes, I like this. No, can we adjust this? Okay, cool. Boom, builds the site. All right, now, would you like to sign up for our thing? Because we'll continue to build the site and enhance it and all that. Or would you like to go with the free thing? I don't think we'll even offer the free thing. I mean, maybe, right? For friends, we'll offer
Okay.
it, right? And then I was like, okay, we'll come back to you as we, we're repurposing your content because wow, you have 1,000 videos. It's going to take us a little bit and then we'll give you, ask you some questions along the way, or maybe you want to give us feedback. So we give it people an opportunity to look at it. And then they get some reports. They get their monthly report. So before, Dylan, your knowledge graph object, according to Google, had a confidence score of 23, and now it's 40, and now it's 100. And now you're ranking on more of these keywords, and now you're getting more traffic. Oh, would you like to tie in your business website too? Cool, OAuth in, right? And that's the part that you have already worked on. Okay, you're a plumber in San Diego. Great, pull it, click, click, click. You pulled in all your data. Now we can see how that impacts. And then they hire a VA, our people tie it together. So we're linking back between both of them, right? Repurposing content, using the AI to enhance the location service pages on their business site, right? And then it moves towards agency services. You need some ads. Looks like, you're starting to rank on this organically, but man, all these guys are beating you in the ads in San Diego emergency plumber. We should start at $1,500 a month. The AIs already do these recommendations. All these other tools already recommend, based on
Yeah,
and all that, right?
on the ad platforms, yeah.
Yeah, your reviews suck so bad we shouldn't run ads. You need to fix that for if your service sucks, right? Or you're too small, or or no, this is great. Your share. These other guys are spending more than you. It's because whatever, right? All the ad stuff which we already know, and then the dashboard and our data grabbers, and the personal brand. Oh, you go interview your customers in the Oaklawn part of Dallas, right? You have more customers coming from that part. You need more businesses, more jobs there.
Right.
Have enough signal, so that affects what we're able to ingest because we tell them to go out and put more stuff, and now it's in the Google Drive, or we collect it, we scrape all the reviews and we process that. You can see how it's a virtual cycle here.
I see it. Yeah, it gets more data and just recommends what they should do, and then more data, and it's like a circle. Yeah, it's like a cycle.
We're trying to build this Are You Googleable report, which, that business comes in and we see, hey, you got a 27, you got an F on these 6 different areas. Catalog Vendasta has their snapshot report, which does the same thing. We're just taking the data they have and making a better version. Okay, well, here's the thing that broke. It's a clear thing. Your site is slow. You don't have enough web pages. You don't rank many keywords. You're not running ads. Your competitors beat you here and there. I mean, clearly it's not just an arbitrary grading, right? And we can fix that. But you're going to have to, sign up for these different components. Right now, we'll just componentize it, but sell it as part of the retainer that we currently do until eventually we can make it more SaaS-like instead of having it's like 95% manual right now, but I want to, in 5% AI tools, and I want to flip it.
Right.
They don't care whether we're 95% AI tools and 5% users. We get
right.
the result. Who cares what goes on in the kitchen if we get the right result?
Yeah. Cool. All right.
Hopefully I'm not overloading you too much. I just want to,
you've given me, well, as always, you've given me plenty. I have no questions. I will have questions. Let me go up with this and let me come up with a plan. And the first step.
I love to iterate. What I don't like are these like long, expensive cycles where it's, a month goes by.
Oh, I know.
Like 3 steps.
Sure.
Right?
I just need to come up with the first,
and all that, right?
I just have to come up with the first step, and then we can build on that. Exactly. And then
lots of it, whatever you want to call it, rapid prototyping,
all right,
stream programming,
cool.
Yeah, all that.
Looking forward to it. Awesome. So give me, today is Saturday. Give me a couple days, like Monday or Tuesday, and I'll come back to you and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how long it should take, and then just our first step, and then we'll learn, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, you rock, Dylan.
Cool. All right, man. Okay. Thanks, Dennis. Okay.